For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heady Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into the Halos in the Infield postgame show, the only place where you can get the real talk about your Angels and get your comments read live here as we stream on a Tuesday night of all things for the Angels to win again. And my goodness, we've got some we've got some conflicting fans. Doesn't matter if you're on freaking Substack, doesn't matter if you're on Reddit, if you're on any of the social media, there's a line in the sand. There's Angel fans that want them to tank and lose out and sell the team, and there's a lot of fans that want to just go all in or just at least give it the old college try and shoot for the postseason. I'm kind of conflicted. There's some good points to each argument, and there's some bad points to each argument. And we've laid those out over the last few nights. We've been asked the last 3 weeks, are they sellers or are they buyers? And I kept telling everybody over and over since the All-Star break and before, it's got to be one game at a time, and you literally got to see where the Angels finish the day before the deadline, which is tomorrow. And tomorrow is an even heavier pitching matchup because you got Eovaldi on the mound, who usually kills the Angels, and you got Soriano, who could be nearly perfect. And again, they're creeping back up to 500. And now all of a sudden, with teams just really playing some very mediocre baseball in the American League, the standings are a lot closer than we thought they would be. And it kind of like makes you feel like, damn it, if we didn't have these injuries, if we would have played up to par earlier in the year, not had such a bad May, they could be leading the wild card easily. And right now, as bad as they played, they sit only 4 games out of the final wild card, and they're only 3 back of the Texas Rangers. And then the Rangers only a game out of the freaking Mariners. So, and the Mariners and Rangers open up a 4-game set right after this one. So tomorrow they're going to want a getaway game, and they're not going to get it because Texas has got to play a night game, and then they got to fly up to Seattle and play that 4-game set. So, man, and it's interesting with all the bitching and moaning that we heard about the Angels saying, oh, Jensen's pitched 3 games in a row. I don't think he could do it again. It's like, dude, he's a freaking Hall of Famer. He's done it many times. He's only been averaging about 15 pitches per appearance. Shut the hell up, Wayne and Gooby. Jansen, I think it should be all hands on deck tomorrow if they really want to make a push. All hands on deck. Don't start saying these guys need their memes and their arms are going to fall off. And this guy pitched yesterday and this guy pitched the day before. Shut the hell up and get out there and play. You have a fucking day off on Thursday. No excuses. So that's my rally call for let's go for it. Now, here's where I am scared. And before I get into my scared part, and I go through the monologue and then I'll read all the comments. But here's where I'm scared. And I got to say this first. Heady is for the fans, by the fans, for the fans. We're in the stands with you watching the games. We're not a fake-ass podcast like Cocked On, Locked On Cox. We're right there with you every step of the way. You can find us at the games. We're very impersonable, and we have the most fan reaction network out there. So with that being said, here's why I'm scared. If the Angels, because this is what you need, in my opinion. You need one more starter that's about a 3 or better. So a 2, I don't think we have the capital to get a 1. So you're gonna hope that you can somehow get maybe a number 2. And if you can't get a 2, you want another Kikuchi-like pitcher to go along with Soriano, Anderson, and you might have something there with Hendricks pitching at the back end of that rotation. You could take Kowanowitz out of there. Now, you're also going to need a mid-level, a bullpen reliever. You're also going to need 2 more depth players that are better than Newman and obviously better than what is it called? Wade. So you're going to need, and in a sense, you're going to need 2 C+ players off the bench. You're going to need, and I think when everyone's healthy, Soler, I think you just got to trust this lineup. If you're going to go all in is all that they can afford. So basically, you're not pulling out a wad of cash and you don't have an open blank checkbook. What you're going in with this trade deadline is you're going in with just scraps in whatever's left in your wallet, basically. And if you have a gift card, so that's only going to pick you up maybe a couple C+ guys that are going to come off the bench, slightly better than Newman, more contact, better than Wade defensively, more contact. And then you got to roll with your starting lineup. You got to hope that these boys can stay healthy and produce. And then with that starting pitcher, that's going to cost you the most. You got to pony up something to get a second or third, and you can't take anything off. So someone in another organization that has got to like someone that plays for the Bees or the Trash Pandas, straight up. You can't afford to give away anyone on the MLB roster. I don't think they'll take anybody. And because the other teams are going to be like, hey, what about Detmers? Can we have Detmers? No, you need him if you're going to contend. Hey, what about Kowanowitz? No, he might be in our future. Would you mortgage him? Maybe you would, but I don't think anyone's going to be knocking your door down because, again, he's too inconsistent. And if you're going to ask for Soriano, then why are we getting another pitcher if we're going to get rid of a younger one? You know what I mean? So it doesn't work out. You're going to have to find someone that likes somebody in your farm system. So it could be a Canadata. It could be an Aldegari. It could be a Victor Medeiros, but it's not going to be a Clausen. You got to hold on to Clausen because he's like your best, shit in the entire, what is it called? Not lineup, but in your minors. So again, you've got limited options and you got to work with whatever's in your pocketbook, and they don't have much to work with. And then that bullpen piece, you can always find a freaking bullpen player. So with that being said, with the win yesterday and the win tonight, you get that W down, all of a sudden there's this thing called belief. And did you notice something last night in the win? Now, maybe I'm wrong. I was there, but I wasn't on an angle to see how Trout treated Campero when he came back, but I did see Kowanowitz gave him a hug. Everyone lifted him up. Adele was being a leader as he was tonight too. You had Neto being a leader as he was tonight too. And did you notice when they walked off the damn field tonight, every hitter or every player except Jansen, because he was given the interview and he just came off of pitching that final pitch to get the save, had their hat on backwards. Now, you may say, so what, Todd? What does that have to do with anything? What does that mean to you? Why is that a big deal? Why are you bringing that up? Because it's this thing called chemistry. It's this thing called cohesiveness, and it's something that a culture that a team builds, it takes a while to get to. Maybe this is what they were talking about all season, because all season, if you've heard or you've gone on Reddit or if you've gone on social media, there, and even if you believe Gooby, because Gooby lies a lot, Randazzo lies a lot, but they always say all year, hey, did you guys check out the clubhouse? The clubhouse is really good this year. I think they have something good vibes down there in the clubhouse. And maybe it is. Maybe, hey, it's Gooby Tuesday and good vibrations by the Beach Boys. That's what they're doing at the clubhouse. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the good vibrations. Maybe they found the culture. And again, this team isn't perfect by a long shot. If you've been watching any of the Angel baseball at all this year, they swing for the fences too much. They do this wrong. They do this wrong. But then the nights where they get it down and they seem to just rely on the small ball, the timely hitting, the defense doesn't fuck up, they actually look pretty decent and they can hang with most, if not all teams. It's what scares me next because, again, Texas Rangers were on a 9-1 streak in their last 10 games before they came to Anaheim. And then if you look at what other teams have done when they come into Anaheim, or we go to them and they're just not that good, like we have trouble with them. And that's the thing that kind of scares me. It's like, okay, right before the deadline, we've got the freaking Texas Rangers, and we're We already won the series. We go for the jugular tomorrow. But then the Chicago White Sox, the lowly Chicago White Sox come to town. Can we keep that energy? Can we keep that culture? Can we keep those good vibrations going into the weekend? Only time will tell. And like I've been saying, if you've been following us at all this season, whether it's the podcast on YouTube or the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts on Apple or whatever, all of us have been like cautiously optimistic when they do good, and almost like I knew it when they do bad, because we're so ingrained on just looking at the negatives first and realizing we have a shit owner and they're fighting to get what they can. But this coaching staff, although they've made some bad bullpen decisions, hitting wise, you can't argue the fact that since Ron stepped down, that literally they're being more patient. Yeah, they had their nights like last night where they struck out 13 times, but they've been bringing the strikeouts down, less than 10 on most nights. The walks were basically 0 when Ron was here. Now they're up to about 3 or 4 per game, which is a huge difference when you're pressuring the pitcher on a nightly basis. They're not only, they're not doing what they did before earlier in the season, 1 run on 2 hits and a gang of strikeouts and no walks. They're putting pressure and they're getting out there. But again, defensively, they've been a little weak lately. The bullpen's been up and down. You have guys like Brock that's on a great run. Detmer's on a great run. All of a sudden, Brogdon's pitching pretty good. We didn't see Bachman again, which I was surprised. I thought we'd see Bachman tonight. But, you're seeing a little bit of maturation. You're seeing a little bit more confidence out there. And I'm loving what I see from Adele. Adele's playing much better defense. He's also making better throws. He's calling off infielders, so there's not those almost collisions. He's hitting the ball to right field, to left field. He's not all just shooting for home runs. He's getting singles. He's working walks. And then you look at Neto. Neto's just got a fiery swing. He's a little spark plug out there. Shonawell, you don't need him to hit a home run. I think of him as like an Eric Hosmer, where, if he hits 8 to 15 homers a year, I'm good with that. I don't need 40 home runs from my first baseman and over 100 strikeouts. Shonawell rarely strikes out. He works walks. Look, tonight, very underrated play. 7-5. Rangers are right there within striking distance. They have the bases loaded while other opportunities come along, and the Angels are just like, leave these guys on base. Where, like they strike out, they hit into ground balls, non-productive outs, right? Shonawell's the king on this team of just productive outs. Whether they have a runner at second base, he rolls one over to first base to move the runner to third. If there's the bases loaded like tonight, fly ball deep enough to get that runner home from third, and then Trout takes second base while the other runner moves over to third. That's great station-to-station baseball. That's use of outs. I mean, that's good baseball. It's good quality, good heads up by him. And you notice, too, when he was up in that last at bat, I was so impressed because we haven't seen this since the days of Socha, meaning he's choking up on the bat. Again, a lot of Angels players over the last few years, the Joe Madden years, Phil Nevin, it was all about the launch angle, and it still is to a point, but some of these players are starting to choke up on the bat, starting to just take what the pitcher gives them. And like last night, Renifo didn't have the greatest night tonight, but last night, dude, Renifo got robbed of a hit, but put the barrel on the ball. And then he put the barrel on the ball, hit an easy home run that was just a moonshot. And then he almost hit one in center field with just putting the barrel on the bat again. So it's all about putting the sweet spot of the bat on the ball, and good things happen. Put it in play, and that's why the hitting has gotten better. So as far as the pitching's concerned, again, my biggest fear, though, as I just rambled on for a good 5 minutes, my biggest fear, getting back to it, and I apologize, I was a little hyped. My biggest fear is that they do make those moves that I outlined before, which is the 2 depth players, the bullpen player and the pitcher. Obviously, you're going to have to give up on some stuff, and that's going to be hard to do. And you don't want a repeat of 23. Absolutely not, right? But my biggest fear is they get these players and they seem to fit the culture, they fit the team, but the Angels do an angel and they run into the Chicago White Sox and suffer and struggle. And then they have other teams like Milwaukee coming up and Cincinnati, which they do. And they have the Dodgers and so on and so on. They're schedule the rest of the way. They really only have 2 or 3 cupcakes, and I can't consider anybody a cupcake because the Angels aren't good enough to consider anybody a cupcake. So I really can't denigrate a Rockies team or a White Sox team. All I can say is that anything can happen at any night with the Angels because, again, they are just not good enough to say, hey, we got them. That pencil them in as a series win. You really can't. You're really gambling. I know LV likes to say, hey, I'm writing those checks, man. Take that. He mocks Ron, and it's funny. And he says, take that check to the bank because we're going to cash it because we're going to win the series. I don't. You can't with this team because they are frustrating because you can see the talent. They have really good talent at times. And they play good at times, but then they revert or they have a bad night. And again, that's part of baseball. But then it clusterfucks. It just domino effects. If this team is going to make it, seriously, they have to be serious about winning, and they have to win 3 or 4 games in a row before they lose one and then get right back on the track and win 3 or 4 in a row again. You need to get 7 out of 10. You need to get 8 out of 10. You need to do that if you're going to contend, because again, with the teams that you have in front of you right now, all of which, and even behind you, can and will go on a run at some point these last 2 months. Minnesota's the only one where I'm like iffy about them but they're still within striking distance, and you never know. The Kansas City Royals are tied with the Angels. You never know. Ohio, I like to call them Ohio because I disrespect them because of the name change. 3.5 out. Tampa Bay, can you name a player on that team? Well, somehow they're 54-54 sitting right in the mix. Then you got the Texas Rangers, who, again, very hot before they played us. We've cooled them down a little bit, but how long are they going to stay like this? Can we get the proverbial sweep tomorrow? Then the Mariners, I still don't believe in them. I still believe they got great pitching, but that Naylor trade was huge, and maybe that sets them over the top. Boston, somehow they're staying in it. You were talking about a team when they traded Devers. Oh, they're dead and gone. They're done. They're going to be in 4th place before you know it, and they were. Now, all of a sudden, they got the second wild card spot. And then the Yankees, of all teams, with some injuries and not all that great pitching, are sitting there at a game and a half up. I'm not looking at them. I'm just right now, as an Angel fan, I'm doing 2 things. 2 things. All I'm doing is I'm saying, can we win today? Let's go 1-0 today, and we'll worry about tomorrow. Let's get that dub, and we'll see what happens. And so far, the last 2 nights, got the dubs both nights. Now we're going for the jugular. I don't want to see this shit that happened in Boston where we win the 2 games and we're just like, well, this guy can't pitch, this guy can't pitch, this guy can't pitch, this guy can't pitch. The other guy's got to sit on the bench. No. That time for fucking around is gone. And even then, like, if you're the Dodgers, you're a good team like the Yankees, you can do that. You got the talent to do that. You got the talent to say, hey, man, let's put in our B team against them to close out the series, and whatever happens. You've got the playoff experience. You've got the playoff opportunities the last few years. Good teams can do that. When you've been out of the playoffs for so long, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you're hurt. As long as you can still run and walk and hit and throw the ball, man, you got to get your ass out there. You got to keep playing. You got to keep trucking. And again, it's not like we got 10 games in a row, guys. We're off on Thursday. Just play your ass off tomorrow, and you get all your beauty sleep you need. Take the day off because, again, you don't even have to travel. This isn't even a travel day and then a day off. You stay in Anaheim. So there is no excuses for this crap. I want to see 100% focus because now they've reeled me in, and I'm thinking to myself, damn it, we have a shot. So if they piss away tomorrow's game, it's going to make me upset. But again, you got a guy like Nathan Eovaldi tomorrow, who is a very, very good pitcher, going in against a team that he's dominated before. And you got Soriano, where he could look like a 5 ERA pitcher, and you're like, God damn it, 3 innings of work. Or he can go 7 innings and leave a game either tied at 1 or winning 1-0. So we'll see, man. We'll see what side of Soriano we get tomorrow. But I'll have to admit, man, I'm going to be there in right field with all those Halo boys. I'm going to be the Halo honk with my clown outfit on, my 69 jersey, and I'm going to be there, man. And the wings, the whole nine. I'm going to be all dressed up, and I don't want to. I'm going to be trying to go for the sweep tomorrow, man. I want that sweep tomorrow really, really bad. So it's going to be a fun time. If you don't have tickets, man, come out, go to 714 tickets, use our code HITI, HITI, and the apply now code, and you get 10% off of your ticket purchase, man. So come on. I think there's going to be a meetup over at Golden Road before we go over to the stadium. So yeah, it's going to be fun tomorrow. So, like some people are saying right now, do you think the Angels have an opportunity in October? You can't say, man. All I can say is that any one of those teams that I mentioned in the wild card race have a shot, and that includes your Angels. Your Angels do have a shot, but they need to just bear down, use the good vibes, and use that team chemistry and us against the world mentality, and feed off the fans, and let's get one W at a time and worry about next week. That's all they can do, man. As a former player myself, that's when it gets to the nitty gritty, that's all you can do. You can't look back. It's preached up and down. If you have a bad night, man, you got to turn the fucking page and just don't even look back, man, because it's not worth it. You look back, you start thinking what could have been. It's going to get stuck in your head. And I'll tell you from personal experience, I could have won a game in single A. I had the bases loaded. It was a 3-1 count. I should have took it. It was ball 4, and we would have walked off on a walk. And I went down and tried to golf one out. I put a power swing on it, and to this day, I still regret it. But it took me over a week and a half to get that shit out of my head to where I can get my confidence up. And that's what can happen, too, if you dwell on things. Again, baseball or any other sport is so mental, man. It is so mental. You really, to quote the great Marshawn Lynch, you have to have good mentals. You have to have good mentals, and that's part of the game, man. You have to have the good mental to change to change the narrative, because otherwise, people can see, you can see weakness in people, and you can see weakness in the opponent, and they will see it, and they will exploit it. So, again, I'm hoping for the best. I do, and I'm starved. I don't look skinny, but I am starved for some playoff baseball. I really want to see some playoff baseball, or at least want to see us compete and go down to the wire in September and be scoreboard watching. Because as much as I could tell you right now, scoreboard watching is super, 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 just like, it kills you inside. It's butt clenching. You're sitting there and you're just like, God damn it, come on. And you're watching your phone, your scoreboard watching, you're watching another game, maybe on another app, and you're trying to make sure your team wins, but also you need this team to win and that team to lose. And it's nerve-wracking. But, man, I'd rather have that than, hey, they're just playing out the string. Here comes all the minor leaguers. This team sucks. Like, man, I hope that this guy's not on the team next year. I'm tired of the negative vibes. I want to see some fun-loving, good August and September, big crowds, and just a chance. For me, I'm a huge football guy, but I always put baseball first. As much as I love football, man, if the Angels are contending in September, I'm not even paying attention to my team. I'm dead serious. And it used to be like that in the social days. It would be like baseball first, baby. Let's ride this sucker and let's see how far it goes. So, I have not been able to focus on baseball the last few years in September because it's just been going through the motions. And you deserve better as a fan, and I deserve better as a fan. And again, I just want these guys, because, again, I think a lot of fans are going to make these players feel the love and the appreciation for them playing hard. Because let's face it, did you think they were going to be anywhere close to the postseason this late in the season? I sure as hell not. I thought they were going to be dead and gone. Again, my cap, my ceiling for this team, my prediction at the beginning of this team, of this season. Mind you, they lost 99 games. They only won 63 last year. 18-game differential of wins and losses. I said on record, before those cocked on guys stole my take, I said, dude, 81-81 would be perfect, because that's a good stepping stone. And if you got good production and the young guys are coming through, now we got Christian Moore up here. You got the young core. Look at Taylor Ward. Look at freaking Joe Adell having a great season. Zach Neto, if he didn't miss April, he would have been an all-star. You know, you still feeling, Hoppy's got to change things and get a little bit better. But for the most part, the young core is here. And you're starting to hear about other players coming through the system, maybe a diamond in the rough. And there's positivity, which – you know, you could think of, hey, maybe we can attract a free agent or two to come in here next year. Maybe we can take the next level next year. You know what I mean? But to be ahead, which I think right now, them being this close, is very nice to see. And it's very good as a fan, because again, walking down those ramps at Angel Stadium or walking out and they lose, it sucks. But so far this year, you know, we've at home, they've walked out of there. You walk out there with your head held high more than you have with your head down. And this team, if we can, you know, it may only take 85 wins, maybe 86 to get into the postseason this year. Think about it. With this team and what you've seen, that's doable. That's actually doable. It's actually doable to get to that plateau. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how these boys play down the stretch, because I'm intrigued. I really am. And I think this a lot, and I mean a lot, is riding on the draft that just passed. If the 21 players that we signed and you know, Brennan is the dude, and these other players that we got later rounds, like the shortstop, I think from Louisville or Arkansas, if he comes through, or second baseman, I'm sorry. I think he's a second baseman or third baseman, one of the two. Anyway, he's an infielder. Point is, the draft was huge this year because of where we were placed. We've got through that. That's a waiting game. We have to see what happens with that. But this trade deadline is huge. And what a year for it to be with no capital. Like, any moves that are made that are successful, Perry's earned his money because of what he has to work with. Think about it. The minor leagues for the Angels in all four levels, whether it's rookie ball, high A, double A, and triple A, have all losing records. And in all four levels, the pitching is almost dead last in every last one of them. So the fact that we're getting what we're getting on the major league level, and sometimes we could pluck and pick and choose from the minors and get a couple guys to contribute, has been absolutely amazing. So with a win tonight, and I haven't even gotten into how the game went tonight. So I'm sorry for rambling on for the first freaking 30 minutes, but let's get into it real quick, and I'll jump into all the comments as much as I can get to, because I let them pile up, and that's on me. So I apologize. Usually I'm on it, but I don't know, man. This team, man, this team gets me super pumped up, and we're all fans on this network. So whoever's on here, when I do my post games and stuff, this is genuine freaking reaction, just like you would. And this is a platform that you can relate your messages, your freaking hopes and thoughts and feelings, and nobody attacks you, nobody hangs up on you, no one says you're stupid, because it's a safe space. Angels win 8-5 tonight. And what I loved and what they got to do, and they have been doing it, add on runs. So instead of just putting your head in the sand and saying, okay, they punched us in the face, it's game over, right? No, the Angels have been adding on runs. 8 strikeouts tonight for the Rangers. Angels had 9. They worked 7 walks, including 2 hits batsmen, I believe. I think it was 2. They went 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, left 8 men on base. You had stolen bases. Campero's been a little spark plug right there. Kikuchi didn't have his finest night. 4 runs on 10 hits, 5 1/3 through 105 pitches, but the key was no walks. He got out of 2 huge jams, but again, suffers a no decision. It seems like we cannot get this dude to victory. And then Patrick Corbin, the former Angel draft pick in 2009, as they love to tell you on Bally's, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, another good start for him against us. The scoring started like this. Adele singled to right. Neto would score. Shawna would come home on the air, and it was 2-0. And then Higa Shako, I can't say his name, the Texas Rangers guy, hit a solo blast. It was 2-1. Then Campero got an infielder's choice to right. Adele would score, and that would make it 3-1. Garcia came back and singled. Haggerty scored. It was 3-2. And then in the 6th inning, Duran would single to left. That guy again would score, as well as Smith on the throwing air, because again, Taylor Ward has a noodle arm. He's a defensive liability. If the Angels didn't have a right field problem as it is with Soler and Trout, you would put Ward in right, or at least I would. I don't like him in left field at all. Never have, never will. Campero would double, though, into a left field, as there was a slide that did not happen the way the Rangers wanted it. Adele would score. Darnell went to third. It was 4-4. Then Moncada had the hit of the night. Moncada's been on and off injured. I wish he could have been healthy all year. I can imagine the numbers he would have. He's a solid hitter when he's healthy. And he came through with just a first pitch swinging, rips a single to right field. 2 runs would score. That was your game winner. Neto would then double in Moncada to make it 7-4. And then that dude hit a home run. It was 7-5. Then Shonawell did what I talked about earlier, putting the ball in play, productive outs, and getting that sacrifice fly to make it 8-5. And then Kenley Jansen did Kenley Jansen things. So Kenley Jansen, 20th save. Reed Detmers picks up his 4th win in relief. The bullpen was solid, only issuing a walk and a hit. That's it by Brogdon. Other than that, in the 3 2/3 pitching, that's not bad. That's really good, and I think the bullpen has been underrated all year. They've had their mistakes here and there, but, dude, they've been solid as hell. So Angels win tonight, and that deserves one thing. If you're new to the show, this is what we like to play when the Angels win, and we're going to fire up some Stukas by the Dickies. So there you go, man. Angels win. And then Anna says here on TikTok, Angels in the outfield. Yeah, you got to check us out, dude. Tomorrow in the stands. I will be there. I'll be in my clown outfit, the Angels robe. And I'm sure they're going to pass. I think I talked to the dude, Brian, and he said he's going to have some extra ones. So you may, if you don't already have one, you got to get them. It's going to be fun, or just wear white jerseys out there. It's going to be a whiteout out there, sort of like a hockey game. So there you go. And then you got more coming back against the Chicago White Sox, or maybe even as early as tomorrow. This team has a shot. This team has a shot to do some nice things, because all of a sudden the depth, when Soler comes off the bench, healthy, Moncada is going to be healthy. You got Renifo there as a piece as well. Moore's there. All of a sudden Newman is not an option anymore. All of a sudden, Ward, or what's his name? Lamont Wade Jr. I keep calling him Ward. Lamont Wade Jr. isn't a freaking a guy you need to worry about anymore that strikes out too much. So we'll see. Pisa says, you think it's worth looking at Dylan Cease as a rental? I don't think they're going to give up on pitching, but we'd have to give him a lot. And again, I don't think we have, in a perfect world, we'd have capital in the minors to freaking make that move, but we just don't. We just don't have that capital. So we're going to have to, whatever they make as far as Perry's concerned, they really are going to have to, whatever trades he makes, he's going to have to be super creative. I mean, he's going to have to be super duper creative as we get, into this, this trade deadline, which is just right around the corner. Make Ward a first baseman. I don't know, man. Theis says that throw was Neto's fault. That was not Neto's fault, dude. That ball had skipped to him, and it was a bad throw. You got to hit the cutoff, man, and he had time to get it over to him, and he just threw a lazy throw. Hakuna Makata right there, and love Campero bouncing back from that air last night. That was huge, getting those two hits right there. But I will tell you this. Ward's not getting traded yet. I don't think he's getting traded. No way. They just got themselves back into it. So I will say this in the comments. You let me know if this team is a postseason team or not, because I'm just saying, dude. I mean, this team, they've got something to them. I think Gooby is not lying. Andrew calls it right away. There's only one other thing I'm gonna play real quick. I'm gonna give you the I'm gonna give you the player of the game tonight, and then we didn't talk about Bruce Bochy. All the love and all the respect to him. He's a Hall of Fame manager in my mind, obviously with the Giants and what he did with the Padres and what he did with the Rangers, winning 2 World Series and almost a third with 3 different franchises. No doubt. But come on, you saw him raise up his forearm like, dude, your guys are leaning into those pitches. Fuck no. Your guy was just wild, and we were mad that our star got hit. Come on, Bochy, you know better than that. That was Bush League right there. And kudos to the team for emptying the benches and at least getting up in each other's faces. I know nothing was going to happen. Probably some of them were like, "Hey man, some of the Rangers were like, where's a good place to get some ceviche?" And then Mancada's like, "Hey, there's this place down on Main Street down there in Anaheim." No, I mean, that's how some of those fights go. Some of those fights, you're just like pretending to hold people back. But it was nice to see at least the managers and some of the coaches were mad at you. That was more of a coaches thing. That had nothing to do with the players. There was no ill will by Trout. There was no ill will by the pitcher as well. It was just like, hey man, I fucked up. And then the managers were trying to blame each other, and it was funny. So that was all much to do about nothing. But hey, it was nice to see. It roused up the fans, and it looks good. It really looks good. So one other thing to play, and we're going to play, he called for it, and that is the comment of spritz a clock. And that means a botanical spritz. That gives me 50 seconds to catch my breath and then get into your comments.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Spritz a clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz a clock, let's pour some more. Spritz a clock, let's pour some more. Spritz a clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
There you go right there. I love winning too. Andrew says, shit, man, on Twitter. Roger Lodge was saying there's something happening in the clubhouse. Mo says, don't forget Gavin spent not 1, not 2, but 3. Oh, I love when Mo, what is it called? Trolls that douchebag. David Penner says, sell, sell, sell. Also, Mateo says he's fat, and that means that's this sound bite.
Fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out. Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
He's fat!
Michael says, I need a sign. Angels fans, don't let me down. There you go. Yeah, and there's lots of guys we're talking about. Sandy Alcantara. I don't like Sandy Alcantara because he's coming off of Tommy John. You usually need a solid year before you're able to make an impact after Tommy John. That's why next year when our boy, what's his name? Damn it, Sandoval, when he went to Boston, he's going to take another year or so to get himself back to where he was supposedly at. Artie says, nice win, but sell. Don't make the mistake in 23. Mateo says, I take back what I said last night. We might actually do this. Also, Andrew says, Gavin likes Viagra and Cialis, and Rangers like a yummy tasting nut, which is pretty much what Gavin likes on the daily right here. A yummy tasting nut.
What's on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Also, LB says, Todd, give me them honks, man. Let me get you them honks. I'll just give you 8 quick honks, man, and they're going to be like 2 for 1s because we got a lot of people on here. So count those as eight honks right there, baby. Who do you think we trade for? That's the big, again, if we buy who's the most realistic option, I could just tell you what they're going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for used cars, not new ones, meaning expiring contracts. There's no way that we can afford guys with a year or 2 of service left. So if we're going to get anybody, it's going to be an expiring contract. So look up expiring contracts, and those are the teams. And again, you only have a few teams to pick from. Think about that again. You only have these teams to pick from, as far as the ones that are out of it or are considered sellers. Baltimore, Sacramento, the White Sox, the Diamondbacks, Marlins, Pirates, Braves, Nationals, Rockies. Everyone is still in play. The Twins might be a wild card for a team to trade to, but other than that, you only got about 9 to 10 teams to trade from, and you got about 20 teams that are still alive, and the Angels are one of them. LV says, winning streak, baby. Yeah, that is winning.
Wow, winning.
Exactly. Also, you got Rally Chris says, we're definitely so back. Tyler says, we are making the playoffs. You can take that to the bank and deposit it. Merrill Kelly from Arizona. That's an interesting name. Zach Gallen from Arizona, Isaiah brings up. That's also an Tyler says used car equals Andrew Heaney. Oh my God. That's a salvage car right there. I don't want any a part of that. Arturo says if we sweep Texas tomorrow and sweep Chicago, we are in it. We're so in it because Texas and Seattle will be playing against each other. That is true. That means we'd have to freaking clean up against Chicago. Angels are also interested in Louis Robert Jr. From the White Sox, Corey says. Also, Jonas says, I can't help but feel excited about this team. We win tomorrow. We're buyers. Yes, Nick. I hate to say it, but yes, we are. We need a lefty bat, Ty says. Jansen pitching a third night in a row was unfathomable to Gooby and Wayne. Yeah, they were pretty pissed off about that. Bay Area tsunami. That's 8.7 earthquake. What the fuck, dude? How the hell does that how is that a thing? I can't think of that. I'll get scared. I hate earthquakes. Earthquakes and spiders. If there was a spider earthquake, I'd die. I would just die. Eric says the fielding error was by Ward. Could have made the game, could have thrown the game away, ruining it. Tyler says cue the circus music the entire game. That was the Rangers all game defensively. Isaiah says also imagine if we had Shohei Ohtani and Mickey Moniak, the Angels would be a playoff team. I don't know about the Moniak guy. Moniak always pissed me off because Moniak would literally do nothing until the Angels are basically mathematically out of it or just hopelessly done in August and September. And all of a sudden he goes from hitting 200 to like 250 and he's raking. Dan says, hey, we won again, Stukas. We played that earlier. And Perry, we trust. EQ wants to know 3 in a row. That's a winning streak right there. And that is actually because we're thinking this.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it at some point because we've had too much
emotional damage.
There you go. But again, we have to win, man. We got to be serious about this. Seriously, we got to be serious about it. For real.
You serious?
Yes. Andrew says, get those Rangers out of here. Jared says, we're so back. Also, the Angels Suck says, thank you for the Heedy code for 714 tickets. We saved $70 on dugout seats. There you go, Angels Suck. And by the way, if you're not doing 714 tickets, what the hell are you doing? Don't pay stupid service fees. Don't pay taxes. I'm serious. You don't have to pay taxes when you go through 714 tickets. And you don't have to just pay for Angels. So if you want to go anywhere, you can purchase tickets because they are a big brokerage. Buy locally, and they will help you out by using the Heedy code. No taxes, no service fees, and 10% off. I mean, you can't beat that. So if it's $60, it's $60 before the 10% off. And also go to Max Market Pros if you're looking to jump start your freaking business. Tell them Halos in the Infield sent you, and they will give you a nice, sweet deal for helping out your social media, for Google placement on, advertising. It's all right there. Just go to maxmarketpros.com and they will tell them I sent you, and you will get a nice little consultation and a little help from a friend. 714 is better than StubHub because StubHub has all those hidden fees. Also, wonder what Rendon is giving the team some hype speeches. Hell no, he's not. That guy is so lost. I swear to God. That is worst. When is the invasion? That's tomorrow. There's a name that I brought up earlier, Jay Fine. Trade for Ke'Bryan Hayes. Now, Ke'Bryan Hayes is not having the best year for the Pirates as far as hitting the ball, but he's solid defensively. He's a stolen base threat every time he gets on base, and putting him in a Because right now, I think with the Pirates, he's hitting second or something like that. He's in a spot where he has to, be a really good, production guy. But here, if you can put him on the Angels and have him at 9 and have him flip the order, and with that speed, if he gets on in front of Neto, good things are going to happen. So I like that move. You wouldn't have to give up anything hardly to get him. It's more of a depth piece, just as what I was talking about earlier. J-Dog says, hey, we're so back. Hey. Strange says, keep Campero in right field. The guy is absolutely D's nuts. Dude, that guy scares me every time there's a fly ball to him, man.
These nuts. Got him.
Vocal Bond says, we got some good coochie today. Let's go. Hit me up with them Deos. Yeah, you didn't get enough of the stadium. Well, I got plenty of Deos. I got 8 of them. Well, I should play 8 of them, but we're behind in the comments. So you got to bear with me on that one. So I'm trying to catch up on these comments as we go along here. I'm just going to read the ones that are addressed not to people in general, but congratulations to the ACL champions. Stevenson is almost returning too. Actually, Arturo, he's on a 60-day bender. He's done for the year. They straight up shut him down. Also, honestly, if we can't bring up Ryan Johnson, get back a hot more, we'll be okay. Dude, if Ryan Johnson is ready by September, that could be the wild card. You're talking about a guy who could Frankie Rodriguez a postseason. That guy's got some serious gas, and not the Taco Bell kind. Tyler says another game where Coochie falls on his ass. Billy says, I would never root for the Angels to lose, but this is fucking stressful. Get me on to Friday. He wants to pass it. James Malou says, I love the benches cleared after Trout was hit. Mario says, have you seen Jock Peterson? Because that fool is
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out. Calm down, okay?
That dude ate a trout.
He's fat.
That guy is fat as hell, man. Campero stepped up today. Q Lombardi right there, Grillmaster says, which we have to go to the coach.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, exactly. Also, Harmon says, love Montgomery's fire. Bad decision, but has heart. Bad decisions, he says. Jeff Fletcher just tweeted that Christian Moore is beginning a rehab assignment. I've seen that too over here on TikTok, so that's great news. He can honestly be a long reliever, Johnson, and also the 60-day is retroactive. I believe Stevenson is able to come back soon. Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that, Tyler, because I thought, okay, thank you for the update. See, we're not always correct over here, and we do take criticism and we do take, correction. So I appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you for the heads up, man. I really thought he was on the 60-day IL, and that would have meant he would have been shut down. So I appreciate that. And if I missed the comments right there on this side as well, then my bad. But I appreciate that. Swole says, "Are we believing again?" Yes. I think that. And then Arturo wants Kurtz from the A's just for his name. No, I think that guy is amazing. Hall of Fame Bochy walking out ready to fight Trout looked like a pansy. David's like, come on, if you didn't see my comments earlier, sell. LV says, out of here. EQ says, what do you think of Perry so far as a GM? Has he been in this kind of situation before with a team? Do you think you will be able to do any or something at the trade deadline? That's the thing. He's got to be super creative. And he's been in organizations who've had to make super creative moves like the Atlanta Braves and also the Toronto Blue Jays. But yes, tomorrow is huge. Also, no problem. I'm a transaction goblin. Love it, Tyler. Love it. Wood says, Angels fan here. We have no pitching. And that's, we have slightly above C average, pitching, but it's working. We do need an upgrade, but I don't know if we can afford it. Just want to point out that we started winning once I went to the game on Sunday. Thank you, Herman. Thank you. Kyle Stowers up for trade. I think, is that the Marlins guy? Because if it is, I heard he is being shopped. If it's either Stowers or Bowers, that's the guy I heard that could be available. And that guy has like 23 home runs. He's batting like close to 300. We need to trade Jansen and Ward to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays would take him right now. But again, I don't think this Angels team is throwing in the towel just yet. We can't trust Artie to make the right decisions on this team. Q Lombardi, exactly.
What the hell's going on out here?
EQ says, I meant, is it Artie's call or Perry's call to trade? It should be Artie's, or not Artie's. It should be Perry's, but in the end, it comes down to the magical wizard, and that is Artie Moreno. Artie Moreno's making those moves, dude, and he's telling him what to do, or actually, I should say Perry's coming up with the actual baseball numbers and who to go for, and it's all whether he wants to add payroll, is it going to affect the bottom line, that kind of deal. Demetrio says Angels got to figure out how to call off infielders. Yes, I've seen that. I don't like it. Neto is notorious for running 60 yards into the outfield. When I played in high school, when I played in the minors, that would not fly. That would not fly. The outfielder is the quarterback, and I'm sorry, as much as I don't like Ward in the outfield, that was his ball, dude. And Neto knew it, and he apologized. We've had near collisions. I've seen Ward be in left center field, almost in center field, and robbing Adele. That's where Adele's got to step up and be like, motherfucker, get out of my way. That's my ball. Because he's the quarterback out there. When Mike Trout was there, Mike Trout wouldn't let that shit fly. You've seen it when he used to look at some of the outfielders that would come up when he schooled Adele, when Adele ran into him, made him drop a ball. So you've got to be the quarterback out there. And so you got to call them infielders off. They've got to respect you. They got to stop. You got to come in and make that play. Tony C, my boy, says, wow, what a win. 4 Angels hits tonight. Totally ridiculous. I think the Angels will still sell at or stand pat. Angels are like a roller coaster team. They come back almost all the time, which is fun. Harmon says we need more pitching if we're going to make a run and one outfielder. I'm agreeing with that. Any update on Renifo? Is he okay? He is okay, and he is playing. So, and I would love me some Kyle Stowers as well. The Blue Jays are also hoping to get Aurelius Martinez, and we got to fight. We got to fight left. We can make the playoffs. 14 says. Or Isaiah also says, you played the minor leagues. Yes, I did. I was in the Pirates organization. 4 batters. Or 4 hit batters tonight. I don't know if they were on purpose. I think those are just more of guys just not really finding their freaking, their spots. Soriano needs to pitch the game of his life tomorrow, especially at home. Remember, he doesn't pitch good at home. So, we're going to need him to buck the trend tomorrow. Mario says, I think Montgomery got scared when Bochy came out the dugout. He hid behind the home plate umpire. He's like, oh, shit, the legend's coming at me.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, EQ says the clubhouse looks so old compared to the other major league stadium clubhouses, not Oakland and Tampa Bay. Jared says the only bad team we've taken care of is the A's this year. That's what's scary. We need to be all in, or buying or selling. Holding on will kill us. Diamond says, what's your opinion on if we sweep the Rangers? Do we buy or sell? We're totally throwing our hat in on the buying if we sweep the Rangers. My boy Jesus says, light that baby up, Todd Fox. Let's go, baby. Andrew says, light that baby up too. They should still sell, though. And that was a gutsy pickoff by Mateo brings out. I forgot about that. There were so many plays in tonight's 8-5 win. Kikuchi throwing back or stepping off twice. So basically he's given up on third base. He can't throw. And the only way that play works if he throws again is if he gets the guy out. And lo and behold, he got the guy out. Rally Chris says Kelly Jansen has now gone 17 consecutive games without allowing an earned run. That's freaking awesome. Ward to the Padres for Dylan Cease. The problem with that, Strange, as much as I would like to get something for Ward, in a perfect world that this team was out of it, you can get 3 top-notch players for him because he is a hot commodity, 4th most home runs in the majors. And his average has actually gotten respectable. 230 for him is respectable. So the thing is, if you're going to trade Ward to get Dylan Cease, that's not enough, number one. And number two, to get Dylan Cease, you have to give him more, and you're subtracting Taylor Ward, and you're losing a big bat in their lineup. Again, I think we can't set our hopes that high, to be honest with you. It's like I told you, man, it's not a new car. We got to be going for the best. We got to be going to these car auctions and getting the best used car we could possibly get. 7448 says, I want Shonawell to be Wade Boggs type of hitter, make contact and put it in play. Well, he's already headed that way, and I love it. I love it. Tacos Los Cholos, when is the Eastville spot opening up? I got to ask my boy James, who's a part of the network as well. He just went there the other day, and he said, hella good tacos. Loved it. Hey, bro, do you think we still make the playoffs? I think we can, but they really, really got to play good baseball down the stretch. And I'm talking about consistent pressuring of the opponent. Continue to work walks, continue to hit and run if you can, stolen bases, the little things count. The threat of a bunt, you don't necessarily even have to bunt, just show bunt sometimes, and that works. And so I really think that this team can be very scary, which is hard to say about an Angels team in the last few years. Brett says, all I wanted this year was meaningful games in August. Too many teams to jump, but at least we're in the conversation, and that's where we're at, and I love it. Mario says, Papa Fox says the Rangers are having too much sex this series. Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
I love when you guys call out the sound bites. One game at a time, one bat at a time, one pitch at a time. Boo Boo Bears mommy. Preach. Zany Airplane, love that name. Moore is coming back too. He's right around the corner. My boy Saucy says, if the Angels sweep, Perry has his hands full. Boy, this is fascinating. Favorite spot in Anaheim? Well, I'm a little there is a place in Santa. No, it's a Bellflower. It's actually hard shell tacos. As far as Anaheim's concerned, I like anything around the what is it called? What's that freaking place? It's the old train station. They turned it into like the marketplace. I like the marketplace restaurants over there. I don't really have a favorite spot, but if I'm going to go with my Homer spot, I'm going to go with Bruheim for beer. But as far as food, I'm a foodie. I love eating out. Didn't sound right as I was saying it. I like to eat food. So Cali tacos, but I am a taco savant too, dude. So keep them coming, man. Los Cholos is awesome. Cali tacos, I've heard of them on Chapman. I got to give them a shot. Deuces. Good looking out. Moore's coming back here soon. He's on that rehab assignment. Nah checks in with yeah. Storms X says, why are we getting hot at a bad time? That's what we do, man. We're bucking the trend. I'm not trying to watch Ward look at strike 3 all the time, though, Storms X. That's a good one right there. Kevin says, if we sweep tomorrow, we might buy. If we do, we need someone big despite our lack of capital, someone like Sandy or Zach Gallen. Man, but to get them, that is everything. We need Ron Washington back, even though he ain't. I think Ron Washington is done. He's done. Again, cocaine's a hell of a drug, man. I think that enlarged his heart, and they just won't say it. I've had a couple friends who, I could say for one died early because of that same reason. Way younger than freaking Ron. So that can happen, and I think that's what happened. And it's better for him. Spend time with the family. Don't be freaking worried about this team. There's other people that can worry about him, you know. Robert Stevenson is close, and so is CMO. There you go. If we buy, I want someone that has control. Timmer says there is a glimmer of hope. Let's get the sweep. Archangel says, I heard the Halo brothers are in the Epstein files. EQ says, I hate and love that Todd, this team has given us hope this year before and blow it, but I don't know, man. It's weird ass this weird ass team, man. I don't know if it's literally what you said, one day at a time. My coach used to say that all the time. Ambush says bullpen next year with Bachman, Detmers, Stevenson, Joyce, Sneed, Shores, Zephyr-John, and Silseth. Yeah, those are all guys under control. Thank you, Tony C, right there for the super sticker. James Cano says, what would you do, Todd, if you woke up on Thursday and the Angels traded the whole farm for 1 or 2 star players but kept the core? I mean, you'd have to ride with it. At that point, there's nothing else you could do. And if that's what happened, I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm all in, and I got season tickets. I'm going to be there every step of the way, and I'm just praying this team doesn't let us down. I just hope they get to the postseason. Let's see. Also, DJ. Well, we'll get down here because he popped one up right here. A comment right here at the end. Geez, there's so many to read. He says, will you be giving out stickers tomorrow asking for my son? Yes, I will be. I'll have some stickers. And you know what? If you guys go tomorrow, check this out. I'm going to be bringing thunder sticks to the game. So in the whiteout out there in right field, I've got a shit ton of thunder sticks. So if you guys can make the stadium tomorrow, just look for the clown, and the clown will be passing out some fucking thunder sticks tomorrow. So there you go. Because, again, we're the podcast that goes to games with you. We're the fans in the stands like you. Todd Fox, do you think the Angels call up Samuel Aldegari is going to get called up again? He's crushing in Double-A. Yeah, but if they do, Jesus, I want him to be not a freaking 3-inning bullpen guy. I want to see him start. Washington had open heart surgery. He's done. Close contact told me he can't coach no more. Totally agree, Isaiah. I was hearing the whole, what is it called? The cocaine stuff that was enlarging his heart and make it, even though he hasn't been on cocaine in years, it still does a lot to you when you've done it for 3 decades. So that makes sense. So if that's true, hell yeah. Yeah. Stay away from baseball. Do you think the Angels will make any trades realistically? Yes, I do. It's just which ones, I don't know. The Halos playoff run at home would be so electric for the city of Anaheim. They do need it big time. Mateo wants to know if and when the Angels are in contention in September, do we see Artie? Hell yeah, because he'll try to take credit, that egotistical bastard. Tyler says, I honestly take Campero and right now. He has speed, which is a huge benefit for this team instead of Dumbo, ears, slow ass. Dan says, just call that dude Higgy. Skull Zone saying what's up. Jeez. Also, Mateo says the O's made a division trade right there, in division trade, which is crazy, and they lost the doubleheader. Gavin says Edward Cabrera is also nice if Perry buys. I don't like the rest of the crop because we have too many 3s and 4s on the staff. Exactly. When are the new City Connects coming? Next year. Eric says, I really hoped that we get the sweep tomorrow and make a statement. If we can go into the Sox series only 1 game under 500, we should be able to take 2 out of 3. If we lose tomorrow, it's 3 under again. That's why tomorrow's game is so freaking huge, because you need momentum going into a new series. How many times have we watched this team win the first 2 games before an off date and lose? So if you're able to win before the off date, that's a day where you're feeling good about yourself because you're seeing your family, you're hanging out with your friends, you're having a beer or 2, you're doing what you want to do, you're decompressing as a player, and also you're spending time with your family, and you won. You won. You're coming off a victory. So you don't have the loss hanging over your head the entire time you're off. So again, I don't know why these guys can't get that through their heads. What happened to Hans Kraus? He's not part of the organization. I know that. Padres tried trading Cease and 2 other players for Jared Duran, but Boston said no. I think the Angels can offer something for Cease. Well, if the Padres are looking to just unload him like that, then yeah, the Angels do have a shot, but will they pull the trigger? Rangers are not good on the road, but they had been playing very, very good. Don Hammond says, don't sleep on the White Sox at all. Don't take them lightly. They have been way more competitive, especially since all their prospects came up. They battled the Cubs and Phillies toe-to-toe. Yeah, I don't want to look. The Angels can't afford to look past any team. You literally got to look at them and be like, all right, this is our opponent today. Let's do it. Let's beat him. Tony says Ward might be playing bad, but after the trade deadline, the Angels are going to be interesting down the stretch. If they can creep into the playoffs, who knows? Remember 2002, smash, like, and share. Also, another good news, Robert Stevenson should be on the mound on Wednesday. Gavin also says, I think they are a postseason team if the rotation performs. They really need a workhorse to get through to make it, in my opinion. I agree. Nate says we will be making no trades. Corey says can't wait until Artie gets forced out. How is he going to make it to the playoffs games if he's out? Well, unfortunately, he doesn't have to deal. Well, if the Angels make the playoffs, all that court shit starts in October, so we'll have to see. Also, Angels will be shopping at Play It Again Sports for used stuff instead of a shiny new toy. Simo starts his reassignment tomorrow. eBay says, am I crazy, or would getting Moniak back from Colorado be kind of awesome? I think you're crazy, but a lot of Angel fans would take him back. That's true. Todd Fox, I would love 2 starting pitchers from the Diamondbacks. I would too, but how do we go about getting them? It doesn't matter how we get to the big dance. We just need a ticket, Muttley says. True. Also, Lewis says vote for Pedro. Trout needs to swing at the bat more and lower his strikeouts. He needs to stop letting pitches go down the middle, and he needs to start, when he got that hit to right field, he went down and got it, and he didn't he kind of like choked up on the bat. It wasn't all power swing. Needs more of that. We got 2 calls into New York that went our way. What the hell is going on?
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, we're going streaking. Angel Solis says, if we get the sweep, I might just celebrate by eating corn the long way. Alfonso says 8.4 earthquake was started by Dong being on vacation in Russian Beach. That Speedo couldn't hold his mass. The gates opened and slapped the earth too hard, and 8.4 came. Damn. Angel says, Todd, do you only ship the shirts, or do you do pickups at the stadium during the game? I could do that too. I got shirts available. Just got to look on Shopify, make an order, or just message me, and we could just do a transaction in the parking lot. I got hats too. Just let me know. Hayes says you get all the credit for buying tickets on 714. I had about $50 worth of credit at one point. LOL. Nothing better than free tickets. Yeah, that's the other thing. You make a few what is it called? Purchases, and they give you credit towards your next purchase. So that's why 714 tickets. I mean, again, I haven't gone back to freaking Ticketmaster, StubHub, nothing, because those suck. Artie Not Moreno says thoughts on potentially extending Rendon. There is no thoughts. eBay says, okay, maybe it's not Moniak waiting till the Angels are out of it, but more he's just a second half player. He's been crushing it for the Rockies. Well, that's true, and he would be cheap to get, and he's most likely going to be traded out of Colorado. Alfonso says, who wants to chip in for a free trip for Rendon and Artie to the great island of Hawaii? Grillmaster said that would be not ruining it if they went.
My lips, you're ruining it. Ruining.
Angel also says Gooby must be watching the stream. During the pregame, he said 4 is the magic number of runs the Angels. See, I've been saying that all season. I think since like the second month of the season, like it really became a thing with us on this channel. But I was saying, man, the Angels get to 4 runs. They're 20 games over 500. I think right now they're like 25. I have to look it up. And then they have just a sucky ass like 300 win percentage when they score 3 or runs less. So I mean, again, I'm not going to take full credit, but I'm going to pat myself on the back a little. Kylo says Andolis Garcia having too much sex lately. Yeah. Bruce Bochy be fat, so we're pulling out a lot Scott Steiner tonight.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out. It's going to calm down, okay? All right? He's fat.
Ray Montgomery is just a younger Phil Nevin. Great fire and spirit. Horrible bullpen management. I can't agree with that or disagree with that. Is Stevenson a free agent in the offseason? No, we got one more year of control. Alfonso says fly balls to right. Halo right fielder Poyo Cambrero drops the ball. Too much grease on those Poyo hands. I was literally my girl was calling him rotisserie. David says Todd 714 Tickets has the best deals. Saved $100 with the promo code Heedy on Lady Gaga yesterday. Thank you. You're welcome, David. And again, another satisfied customer. Use that code, get the money back. He's probably got some extra cash in his tickets that he could purchase for later too. Again, it works for anything. You could be like, hey man, I want to go see a game in St. Louis. Let me use Ticketmaster. No, you're gonna pay full fucking price. Use 714 Tickets and you can go to St. Louis and get that ticket at a good price. Alfonso says Poyo was running like Rocky was trying to catch him. Also, that's why Moniak is hitting well. He's in Colorado. Angels have the second most wins in 1-run games. That's a sign of a good bullpen. Kenny Powers, Jarrett says, also screw it. Cue my oh my god. That if I wasn't around, you'd be stuck with these two guys.
Oh my God!
How would you like to? First off, look at that, and then their takes are about as good as they look. And I'm not saying I'm Brad Pitt or nothing, but at least a little bit better on the eyes. Harrison Bader is a plus defender in the outfield. Would you go for him as a bench bat when Taylor is done for a long game? I would, because he's a good. He reminds me of like an Alex Ochoa kind of player. Angels are 4-1 since here we go. Rally Chris taking the credit. 4-1 since I went on my birthday party game. Zach Neto bobblehead night. Stowers, Tamir 20 says, from the Marlins, and I think the Twins are trying to do a trade. Joe Ryan, which I would love. Joe Ryan, although he looks like a guy from Stranger Things, he is a good fucking pitcher. Very underrated. And if we were able to land Stowers and freaking, was it Stowers and Ryan? Dude, I don't think we would need the other two pieces. Those two pieces just right there would be outstanding. And I don't know if you'd have to give up too much to get those guys. That's the thing. Want to win, get squid. No, hell no. Want to lose. That's that. Yeah, I don't know about that. Also remember when we got CJ Cron? Yeah, I don't want to remember that. A historian says, how about Shonowell and Ward switching positions or get Laureano from the Orioles? But he only works because he kills the Angels, Laureano. But I do think that Shonowell is going to have to move to the outfield at some point. I would say right field better than left because he's not too fast either. Him and Ward are pretty close in running. I would like Shonowell and right. I think you'd have to acquire a left fielder for sure. And lo and behold, we get a day off on Thursday. Not going to will that. Wilbur says, Cali tacos, you got to go to get the Cali burrito with potatoes instead of French fries. That's interesting because I do like the Cali burrito with the French fries because I had that in San Diego for the first time. I was like, son of a bitch, that's pretty good. Mateo says, if we make the postseason, does Montgomery get the helm next year as Angels matter? You best believe he does. And that's not me saying that. That's freaking Artie Moreno. Artie Moreno is going to be like, you got us to – oh, wait, let me sound like Artie Moreno. You got us to the playoffs, and you going to be next manager. Yeah, that's how he talks, by the way. If you've never heard of him, YouTube his ass, and he has an awesome lisp. And usually I don't like making fun of people and their deficiencies and stuff like that, but Artie gets a pass since he's a jerk. So the fact that he's an asshole – yeah, I will make fun of his speech impediment. But anybody else, hell no, I don't do that. But Artie Moreno's fair game. Also, Angels Tacos in Anaheim on Lincoln. And oh, yeah, I heard about that place. I saw it on Instagram. That shit looks fire, dude. It does. It looks really good. That's another spot. DJ says, will you be giving out stickers? Oh, yeah, I already answered that one earlier. Alfonso says, just imagine if we could have won 5 out of 6 games that we gave away. No kidding. We'd be above 500. Brian Goodwin is a sign that Jay wants to get ASAP. Hans Kraus, I think, retired. Thank you, Growmaster. Also, Todd Fox, do you think the new Angels City Connects jerseys will be fire? I hope so, because I hope somewhere on the jersey it has a freaking Orange County logo or some sort of orange grove on it. I don't want a particular Ducks orange jersey. I don't think they'll do that, but I do want some sort of retro aspect with like a blue helmet, red bill, something like that. I want some sort of throwback that way. Kylo says, Los Cholos is fire. I just hate how it always takes 45 minutes just to mess up my order. My man Angel Sucks says, what's your dream trade right now? Buy or sell, whether you're buyer or seller, the dream trade. I would say the one that did. I was thinking a couple other pitchers, but the teams are in contention now. Like if the Cardinals were out of it, I would have went for Arenado because they're looking to dump that contract. And if the Angels could just suck up a little bit of it, they can have him under control and a third baseman for a couple years. Other than that, I do like Joe. I think Ryan from the Twins is great. Stowers is great addition. There's also the Key Brian Hayes as a depth piece, and there's a couple relievers on the Pirates that are sneaky as hell good. They're really good, and I would poach from the Pirates. Let's just put it to you that way. Hayes being the only guy, I don't think you can land any of the other stars, but Hayes would be good. if McCutchen was willing to leave Pittsburgh, I know he wants to retire a Pirate. That sounds stupid, but think about it. He's a solid defender. You could put him in left field. You could put him in right field. And in this lineup, he wouldn't have to be the guy. You could bat him 7th or 8th. And again, that's just more depth. You wouldn't have to give up much. Tacos El Patron on State College. Off topic, what players do you have in the jersey, in the back jersey wise? Okay, so I have one that's me. I have a Trout. I have a Garrett Anderson, a Troy Gloss. I have a Bo Jackson. A Percival. I have a JT Snow. I have a Whittier, which is a 5.62. It actually has 3 numbers on it. Custom jersey, and then another custom Todd Fox jersey. I have other jerseys inside. I have a Darren Erstad. Let's see. I have Bartolo Colon, and I have a Bartolo Colon, but it says Big Sexy on the back with the Angels. That's one of my favorite jerseys. And then I have the Halo Honk. I have a Vlad Guerrero. I have a Juan Rivera. Escobar. I have another closet inside the house just full of jerseys. So yeah. Bednar would be a nice guy right there. Trade Trout, that's impossible. I've been trying to find a Trumbo jersey for a minute. All right, well, kid, let me know or email me at Halos in the Infield podcast at yahoo.com. I can get you one of those Trumbo jerseys, man, for sure. And for a good price too. I ain't charging no $100. Never spend $100 on a jersey. Fuck that. The most I've ever spent on a jersey in the last 5 years is $65. That's it. And they're good quality. They are very good quality, man. I'm telling you. Anyone seen my jerseys, man? They're freaking good quality. If the Angels make the postseason, I'm making a trip down to see a game. You're going to be here Saturday, right? Aren't you, Mateo? Breaking news, Perry just traded Newman and Gavin for a box of condoms. No baby oil. Perry got fleeced. Alfonso says, whatever we do to trades to help the Dodgers, even if it helps us, we got to make that trade. Gubazov saying, hey, I'm watching the show. Victor says, Neto making that catch looked just like his bobblehead. Yeah, that was a sweet catch. He makes some great plays at times right there. Harrison Bader. Just imagine him versus Master Boney. Can we get a Roger Lodge? Hey, guys, you got to stay positive out there. Gubazah asked, saying that we're going to get our playoff tickets available. Also, Nike jerseys are trash. I love Majestic. I do have a bunch of Majestic and Cooperstown. Do have some Nikes. I ain't gonna shit on them too much, but I do have a couple Nikes. That red one's a Nike. And then the Heedy custom one that I have right here too. That's a Nike. But yeah, where do you get my the hats? I have a connection at what is it called? It's the Dave & Buster's in Anaheim. That whole little area right down there. There's a Lids right there. That's actually pretty good. I get some hats there, and then I have one of my boys makes custom shit. So this is not a custom one. This is their road one from 96, I want to say 95, 96. This is where their road jersey, that goes with this one right here. I love that look. I'd love for them to incorporate that gray into their jersey with the bright red and the blue trim. I could talk jerseys. Love that stuff, man. Grillmaster says it's running up his butt right now, so he's calling for the super gay Roger.
Let me tell you something about my guy John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old
balls and running up my butt right now.
You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos
Choked on me.
He was so great.
He said all that, and I just clipped that together. So I'm very proud of that work. Where did you get that hat? Sorry, just joined. It's the place downtown Anaheim. It's close to the stadium. It's hidden in that whole area, the shopping center by the Dave & Buster's. They got all kinds of cool Angel hats. That's where I got this one right here. It's legit, dude. It's the real thing. So it's pretty cool. Bring back the California Angels, man. I would love that. And Get Logan says, I miss Victor Rojas. We talked to him not too long ago. Ray Ochoa says, what would you say if the Angels just stuck with what we have now and see if we make the playoffs? I would say the same thing that Roger Lodge says. He says, well, when we get these guys like Mancana and Stevenson back and all these other players like Soler, those are basically free agents. It's like we made a trade. No, that's called copism. And he's trying to cope that they didn't do nothing, but that's the way they try to, move things around. But yeah, if they stand pat, they stand pat. But I just, they got to make a small move or something. Nobody else but Taylor Ward's Dumbo ears, but definitely nobody else. eBay says Artie talks like a cat from Looney Tunes. David Roska says Anaheim Angels would have won back-to-back World Series champions if in 2003 they went with Hideki Matsui and Miguel Cabrera. I think it was 2004 or 05, one of those years when they should have made the trade with the Marlins, when the Marlins were dumping all those players. The Angels would have given up, and this is legit the real true story, Irvin Santana, Brandon Wood, Dallas McPherson, and Jeff Mathis straight up for Dontrell Willis, AJ Burnett, and Miguel Cabrera. That I mean, come on, man. Put that together with the rotation that they already have with Bartolo and Escobar. Man, yeah, they would have went to the World Series and won easily in 04 and 05. Easily. Man. Let's see. We need Garrett back on this team. Y'all remember Escobar? Yes, we do. Grillmaster Anthony says, hey, Todd, do you think we have more wins, less, or right where we are now if Ron Washington was still managing the team? I'd have to disagree and say I think we don't. I think Ron was not that. He wasn't 100% Ron, and we know. I think we're getting a little bit more out of whatever they're doing in the clubhouse. I think we're right where we're at with who we got. Could be wrong. I know I'm seeing a couple other Sandy thinks different, but I think old school Ron Washington, Texas Rangers Ron Washington, hell, even Atlanta Braves Ron Washington. I think this team is miles ahead because he's also handicapped by the freaking analytics, and so is Ray Montgomery. So yeah. Did you see Roger Lodge? No, I did not see Roger Lodge. Also, Alfonso says, Halo Brothers look like a people's cult leaders from the 60s. Angel Sucks says, by winning, we win here and we win a little there. And that would be this one right here, if I can find it. There
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Also,
John Stamos choked on me.
And guess what?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Killer Shrimp in Marina Del Rey is awesome. My go-to. Man, I haven't heard of that place. Todd Fox, the late Kobe Bryant, was an Angels fan. He was at times, I guess. Held on to Jeff Mathis for a while and eventually ended his career, I think, with the Marlins. Alfonso says, Todd, is the ground shaking behind you, or is it just a big-ass spider? Don't start that again. Because, man, we actually had a spider in here the other day and it scared the shit out of me. Man, it took me an hour and a half because of my long-ass monologue to catch up with everybody. We had a record over here, and I appreciate everybody on TikTok. At one point on TikTok, we had 120-something people on. That's amazing. To consider we didn't start TikTok till we were already about a month into the season. At least a month into the season because we didn't think TikTok was a good good with everything else we had going on. So it's good to reach out a little bit, and I'm glad we did. And I appreciate let's see, Tacos Locos sent a little money there too. Appreciate that. So did Corey Fuller. But yeah, I'm just going to say I'm glad we're on TikTok, and we're going to continue to do our sports centers and all that other stuff. And yeah, this thing is blowing up. By the way, a couple big announcements. I tried to get that game in. I'm sorry. I tried to get that softball game before football season starts, but now it looks like September 20th is probably going to be the day that we're going to do the softball tournament. And so if you can play softball, you want to sign up, we're going to start to release that post, and you can come down and have fun with us. We're going to have 2 Halos in the infield teams to face off against the other podcast. It's going to be fun. And then the Ohapi thing is happening on September 7th. If you're looking to bowl with current and former players, you can come down or you can register on the link. Just ask me for it. Halos in the Infield podcast. We need a couple more players to bowl with us, and you'll be getting autographs. You'll be getting a shirt and a hat from us. and meeting current and former Angels players, and all is for a good cause for the Anaheim area. And then we also have the Ducks. When the season, especially around September, is going to ramp up, we're going to be having post games as we do with the Angels for the Ducks on this network. And we're going to be having some watch parties, especially that opening game. I think it's October 7th in Seattle. We're going to be at Brewheim doing a live stream of the game and calling the game as we go along. And it's going to be fun. We'll have drink specials, probably some food specials. So be on the lookout for that. And one other announcement, we got football coming to just the YouTube side. So not on TikTok. Well, I think maybe on TikTok, but not on Instagram, not on any other social medias that we're on. I don't think X, but it's probably just going to be TikTok and YouTube. And we're going to do the Unfiltered Sports Network, merging that into us, which we've done NFL. We did the pick'ems and we did the recaps. So you're going to get 1 or 2 shows of that a week too. So when baseball season is over, I'm not cutting it off here at all. I'm just giving the announcements. You have to look forward to football and hockey. So you get your sports fill here with the Halos in the Infield Network. We hope you guys all and gals all enjoy the sports takes, and we will be looking forward to your takes and your comments, whether we're doing shitty and you guys have some constructive criticism, you want to make fun of us, or you want to praise us, or you want to give us, say your comments and your takes. It's all, everything's welcome, man. Everything's welcome, and we love the fans and we love everybody contributing. So, man, oh man, great night tonight. I just wanted to get those out of the way. So thank you for bearing with me on that. Angels won tonight 8-5. Great victory over the Rangers. But again, that kind of gets spoiled if they can't take care of business tomorrow. Tomorrow is a huge, huge game. I will be there. I hope to see you guys there and gals there. I'm going to start off in 260 where we normally sit on the top of the ramp in front of the Modelo sign. And if you don't see me there, I will be in the Revolution in right field, and you can't miss me tomorrow. I'm going to be having the halo. I'm going to have the clown makeup. I'm going to have the white robe and my Halo honk jersey on, and I'm going to be passing out thunder sticks to whoever asks me until I run out. I got at least 200 sets of thunder sticks to pass out tomorrow. So please come by and say hi. We love saying hi to the fans. And again, thank you everybody for coming on tonight. Rally Chris says real quick, Jansen emphasized his belief in the Angels and that he wants to stay with the team. He likes this group of guys and wants to be a part of this team. So maybe they are not selling at all. Maybe they are all in. This team is not transparent with how they say and do things. So we'll just have to see what happens. So again, thank you to everybody on stream. We will catch you tomorrow after the game. I might be about 15 to 20 minutes late because that's what usually it takes me to get over here to Whittier after the game. But yeah, we'll be here. We're always on doing the post games no matter what. We're not like that fake ass other podcast, Locked on Cox, whatever they call themselves. We're real fans. We're in the stands with you. And this network, it means a lot to me and the rest of the guys that are a part of it, because we put our time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, man. We've never been handed a freaking platform. We just made it ourselves. And that's the best part, because we get the greatest fans from doing it yourself, growing it organically. Everybody, I'm going to play you out with some Stukas, baby. We won. We're on a win streak, 3-game win streak. Enjoy it, fellas and ladies.